Hey everyone, how are you? Good evening. Come on in. I am. Is this the funniest little? I don't even know what these are called. They're not emojis. They're just I don't know, hats. How funny is that? There's like bananas falling off and stuff. I don't know. I look like the Chiquita, that woman, that used to sing on what was that song, like the Chiquita Banana Woman, and she would, oh, I did, oh, it was like, all when you see her doing those dances, they're always done in like black and white, so I'm not quite sure what her name was, but there was a woman who dressed just like this a long time ago. Hey, Walt. Hi, John. How are you? Is it hilarious? Come on. I'm just in a tropical mood. What can I say? I woke up. I don't know what happened. Hi, Scotty. I know. I love this. Like every once in a while, you see like bananas falling and stuff out of my hair. It's like when I shake it, they fall out. So, oh, it's so hilarious. Oh wait, I will. Now I can't remember how to turn it off. That's the thing. Oh, there we go. Okay. I will take my hat off while I discuss sleep issues so you can take me a little bit more seriously, right? Okay. I think that's good. I don't know how to get rid of my little thingies, but that's okay. And Duke is in here too. Duke's always in here. But all right, so I wanted to pop on and give like 7 tips. I'm studying, or actually reading to my my exercise groups about sleep, because sleep, believe it or not, has a lot to do with if you have weight goals, if you have just better health goals. It has so much to do with it, more than anybody ever realized. And if you would look back into actually the best sellers of last year, there were 2 sleep books that were on the best-selling list. It's crazy. But what we used to take as, yeah, we all go to sleep. It's just a regular human thing. We all do it. Well, and animals do it too, but right? But all of a sudden, a lot of us don't know how to sleep anymore. Like, we're just sort of taking it and saying, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that sleep thing. Like, I'll sleep later, or oh, 3 or 4 hours is good. I'll be fine. And then you keep that horrible habit up, and it starts to affect you. And you may not think it is. You may wake up and think, well, I'll get coffee, and then I need like an energized drink, but it's even actually doing a lot of damage to you in a cellular level that, of course, you can't see. But one day it hits you because you go to things aren't right, and you go to a doctor's, and they tell you, this, that, the other thing, the cholesterol, the high blood pressure, all this stuff is wrong. But this odd thing is, when you think, and I know I've read those books, what they wonder is why doctors never ask you how your sleep is. Never. I've never in all my years had anyone ever ask me how my sleep was. And that has such a key component to our health, but it's never asked about. And whether they put us, on medication, or we're telling them we're really tired. We're really tired. I don't know what's wrong. They never say, well, tell me about your day. Like, how does your sleep, what are they like? Do you have sleep patterns? Oh, I'm so sorry. My dog just knocked over the lamp. Let me plug us back in if I can find it. Oh, Dukesters. Oh, and no, I can't find it. There it is. Sorry, guys. We'll blame Duke for this one. Oh, let's see, Duke. Are you going to tell them? Come on. Look. Sorry, guys. Well, that's just the way it goes. All right. Maybe you should sit up here, Duke. Come on. Up on the up on the couch. All right. Okay. That's the way it goes here. Okay. Well, anyway, So we've got to watch ourselves. We got to stand up for ourselves. We got to watch. Whoa, Duke, we have to watch out. I know, right? Watch out and take care of ourselves and make sure that we're getting the best sleep that we can for our own health. So here are some tips. And some of them you've heard before, but some of them you haven't. And maybe you haven't taken them seriously, but they're doing extensive studies on everything that I'm about to tell you. And they're just saying, even when you think, like, set an alarm to go to bed. Like, I've had to start doing that. People wake up, people set alarms to wake up, but most of us, we've got to set alarm to go to bed, right? Especially if you're the type that you want to watch something, you get into a show, or you start scrolling on Facebook and you find 4 hours later, you're still on there because you got sucked into some, oh, hi, Curtis. You got sucked into some cat videos or, funny dog videos or something. It can be distracting. So setting an alarm to go to bed is something we have to start doing now because we can't seem to shut it off. And it doesn't mean like set the alarm at 10 and then expect yourself to be in bed at 10:20. Like it's actually one of the tips. I'll get to it, but you have to power down at least 1 to 1.5 hours before you get to bed. That's the study they did showed that your brain activity is still firing like fireworks, even though you've gotten off the computer, an hour ago. Your brain is still so active. It's still on whatever it was that you were doing. So that's a big problem because I know people who will sit up in bed and I got to send the last email. I got to send 5 more. I have to check my status. I have to send out some messages. Like, no, your brain is still firing. It's still in work mode. And then you click your phone off and you think, okay, well, now I can get to sleep. No, it doesn't happen that way. When they did that study on that, they found that it took people an hour longer for their brains their brain waves to get into sleep mode. It's affecting you, and you may not realize it at first because you're thinking, well, I don't remember. I must have fallen asleep, but you don't realize how awake your brain really was during that time. So it's reducing your quality of sleep. And it ends up, in the long run, it ends up hurting you. So number 2 would be to resist the snooze button. So many of us want and do hit the snooze button, but in actuality, it's better if you don't. And the reason why is it's not letting you get any kind of quality sleep. You're just getting that, you're just starting to fall into that first stage of sleep, and then you're woken again, and then you hit the snooze again, and you lay there, and then you're just starting to get into something, and you're awakened again. So actually, that kind of activity is worse for you, and you'll end up feeling groggier than if you just would have gotten up the very first time. It's that on and off, on and off, on and off. It's no quality of sleep at all. And I know if we really like confess to it, it's true. Like, have you ever felt like that? Like, oh, I just feel so like sort of drunkish kind of grogginess. So just suck it up, get up anyway. All right. Let me see. And let's see. Darken your room. Now, I know people have said that before, but what they didn't realize was even the glow of our phones, and I can't make my phone glow now because I'm on it, but even the blue glow of your phone is interrupting your brain, and you didn't even know it. And what they also, when I read the Sean Stevenson book, and I'm reading it to my group now, what they found was that there are actual light receptors on your skin, which is fascinating. But your glow from your phone, even though you're thinking, well, it's not bothering me, it's that blue glow, and it's not like it's a a bright white light. So I must be okay, right? Like it's sort of dim, or even the glow from the numbers on, if anybody has an alarm clock anymore. But they have those glowing, almost bright green, and some have the blue, some have the green. You, even though you're thinking it's not bothering your eyes and you can still fall asleep with that on, your skin is picking it up. Your skin actually has light receptors on it. So your skin can actually, in a weird way, see, and it's being absorbed into your body. I know it sounds so strange, but it's really true. Please Google it. I'm not making it up, but it actually happens, and it's making it harder. And I know you don't think of it because you actually think, well, I must have fallen asleep because I woke up this morning and I was asleep. But it's taking your brain longer to get to sleep, to get to that good quality deep sleep. So you're spending less time in the deep sleep. And the way you recognize the difference with that is, now, of course, they recommend taking all of your electronics, even because of the electromagnetic fields that all of your electronics are throwing off in your room, laptops, TVs, cell phones, iPads, even your alarm clocks, anything like that, they're throwing off magnetic fields. So they said, especially with the iPhones and all of that kind of thing that you're picking up and using at the last minute when you shouldn't be, to keep them out of your room. Because of what they're doing. Or they were suggesting even trying, now this is even further, carrying it even further, but putting your Wi-Fi, you know how most people nowadays have Wi-Fi running through their homes? And I thought this was the most clever idea, but to turn the Wi-Fi, put it on a timer. You know your Christmas tree timer? And you plug your Christmas tree into a timer, or your lamps, and you plug them into a timer and then into the outlet. Well, plug your router into a timer and then plug it into the wall, and then have it turn timed so it turns off completely off when you go to bed. Hey, Denny, how are you? I know I have my little, I wonder if I can get rid of that. Nope, I can't. I'm missing all of my, here, let me do that. Okay, there we go. Now I can see writing. I couldn't see it because I was wearing a funny hat in the beginning. But anyway, turning off all the Wi-Fi by using a timer is such an ingenious idea, I think, because they're not quite sure what all of that is doing because it's too new, right? When you think about it, most of us on here, I think all of us on here, I'm thinking all of us on here, remember a time when we didn't have cell phones, right? I mean, when you wanted to reach somebody, if they weren't home, you had to wait. You had to wait till they got home. So when you think about it, all the cell phones and all this stuff, it's relatively new when you think about it. So they don't have long-term studies to go by to see what it's actually doing to all of us when we live under an umbrella of Wi-Fi. Oh, hi. Let me see. I'm missing my... Hi, Denny. Hi, Chelsea. How are you? Hi, Steve. Oh, I missed everybody. Hi, Jack. Hi, Petro. Curtis, I saw. Hi, Bill. Ennio. Hi, Ennio. Michael. Walt, I saw. Scotty. And John's joining us. Okay. I'm sorry. I missed everything because I have my picture up. Okay, so yeah, so they don't have long-term studies, right? And so they don't know what is going to happen in another 10 years when they start getting more information about what's going on. But so that was another tip. Darkening your room, even if you can use blackout curtains, right? Those are awesome and they really work. My son works midnight shift and I have those in his room. They really work well. The whole idea is to get your room pitch black. Now that's from the Sleep Institute. They say that's the best way to sleep. It's pitch black in your room. Like you can't even see your hand in front of your face. They said even the glow of a nightlight, still it's affecting your brain. And if it's not affecting, you don't think like, oh, I can sleep with that on. I'm good. Your skin, the light receptors on your skin is picking up that light. and it's affecting you. So try to get as blacked out as you possibly can. Even using those sleep masks are a help. And yet they said, you know, it's not going to bother you if in your window you see like the glow of the moon. They seem to think that's okay if it's sort of that real dark, or not dark, but soft glow of a moon. But I've had moon glow in my window where it was like really bright. So you're just going to have to play around with it and see. And as far as getting all of your electronics out of your room, you know, your phone and all of that, the only way you're going to, they suggest taking like an electronic vacation, or, you know, just a test drive. Just take a test drive. Try for a week. Well, they want you to try it for a week. If you could do that for a week, that would be amazing. And they said, just try it. Just try it for 1 week and see what happens. If you notice at the end of that week, you actually feel more rested, because we've all gotten to a point where we're almost accepting non-acceptable conditions. We've just accepted them. Like, well, guess I'm only going to get 4 hours again. That's normal. It's not normal. Like it's not, it shouldn't be acceptable. Something can be changed. Something needs to, and even it's just something you're not aware of, you know, because we've accepted these conditions, like lights on in the room. We've got our iPad on. So many people fall asleep to videos on their cell phones, or listening to things while they go to, like, the TV. How many people still fall asleep with the TV on, right? Or even on a timer. Even if it's on a timer, your brain is still reacting to what's going on there, and you're not falling into, you may fall asleep, but you're not in the deep sleep that you really need for your body to function and repair itself at night. You're not getting into that really deep sleep until later. So you're getting less hours of the deep sleep. Okay, let me see. Chelsea. Wow, Chelsea, oh my gosh, you were in Yosemite and you had no cell service on a silly air mattress. True. That's true, because I can imagine it was like really dark there. Was it like because all you would have, you were like actually on an air mattress and you were outside. Like, that's crazy. Oh, that's so cool though. Wow, that's amazing. I don't think at this age I would do that. It doesn't sound comfortable, but maybe it's an adventure and I'm all about that. So I would do, if you were going because you would be so fun, I would. Oh, that is so fun. Hi, Jamie Marie. How are you? I would like that. How many of you have slept under the stars? Now, okay, come on. Now, you can't get a better sleep than that. Like, that would be so beautiful. Well, and Chelsea didn't have cell service, so she had no other excuse. Like, you had to go to sleep. That is so cool. I love that story. I wonder, do you still have pictures up of that? That would be so cool. I'm going to check on your site. You're so cute. Okay, another one besides darkening your room is, how many of us go to sleep with maybe like your window open a little bit? It's the best, the Sleep Institute found the best temperature is between 60 and 67. I know that's a little bit cool, but I do sleep better when it's cooler in my room, right? Like, it's better to make it cooler on the outside and make yourself feel warmer with however many blankets or sheets you need than, you know, like, I did not have air conditioning in this house, and I have a really old house, and it's super hard to go to sleep when it's really hot. It's so ridiculous. And I know I don't sleep as well, right? Like, how many of us do? Like, you like it when it's a little bit more chilly out, right? Like, we all get that kind of, oh, we'll get our blankets out, or we'll make a fire, or, you know, we just naturally like that. So try doing that if you find you just aren't getting the right kind of sleep. like my room, I don't, it's just so, um I have I have radiator heat, so it's hot water heat, and I just crack my window all winter long, like 1 inch, just because it's so hot in that room. Fan, yeah, you have a fan. Well, you have do you have it's a ceiling fan, I think, Walt. But that's, yeah, and you have that air movement, right? It just makes you feel better. Now, a lot of people have the problem of cold hands or feet, and definitely sleep with some cotton socks, or even I know people have sleep with in the winter, they've slept with like cotton gloves, and they just make it like a beauty treatment. Like they they put on like hand lotion and cotton gloves because they're like they swear by it. Like, oh, a bedside fan. Plus, well, with a bedside fan, you're also getting that white noise. Okay, so even though you're supposed to have a quiet area to sleep, right? That's according to the Sleep Foundation, my dog, the Sleep Foundation. But sometimes it can be too quiet. Sometimes they recommend, oh, sorry about that. An alarm went off. If you can actually hear a pin drop, the National Foundation of Sleep was saying, then it's too quiet. And sometimes having a little bit of white noise is what you need. Now, your brain, it's not going to affect your brain rhythm or your circadian clock or any. It's not going to affect that. It's that weird white noise that's going, like the sound of your fan is a white noise to you. It doesn't keep you up. Oh, Jamie, that's so true. I just got into that, Jamie. That actually sounds really good with the chamomile. I haven't tried that yet. I've tried right now, believe it or not, I have what is that? It's like Vicks. It's that eucalyptus smell. I just love it. I feel like I can breathe better when I'm sleeping. And that, yeah, like Jamie, that's true. If that is that in your room, because that would be a white noise. That's that sound. And is it one of those bedtime or not bedtime, bedside table little ones? And honestly, I just picked one up. It was like $20. I'm like, I'm just going to try this. Oh, okay, good. I haven't tried that. Yes, the white noise with it. That's what I thought too. When I turned it on, it had that little like sound, and I'm like, "Oh, this is sort of nice." Like, because I don't have an alarm clock, I use my phone, and it's just I just love it now. Like now I could see how that's very, and I'm excited to try like the different scents. So I know I wanted to just try one at first to see if I could even sleep with that running, and I can. So I love it now. And now I'm like, okay, well now I'm gonna like look into getting more scents, and then getting into what each one does. So because like you could tell you already plus you have a migraine. Oh, peppermint. Oh, okay. So peppermint, you see, I haven't tried that, but I would love that. I would love that scent. That's good to know. I don't get migraines, but occasionally, probably like twice a year, I get a headache for whatever reason. It's usually sinus related. But that would be good too. I could see how that would help. I love that. That's so cool. And then Walt, you're saying the pin drop effect applies to you. Oh, yes, exactly. Sometimes you can not get good sleep if it's too quiet. Yes, absolutely. So it's a good thing that, yeah, white noise definitely is something that you sleep better with, and you're getting better quality of sleep. Okay, so power down. Okay, we talked about that, powering down for about an hour to an hour and a half before you go to bed, not hey, I'm going to send these last emails and then click your phone off and then try to go to sleep, because your brain waves are still on what you were just doing. And it takes like an hour for the sleep rhythm to set in. So try to set an alarm on your phone to get you off of, if your bedtime is 10, set your alarm for like 8:30, 9 o'clock to remind you to turn all electronics off. Like just either and they also recommend start dimming your lights, because any kind of bright light, like my kitchen has 13 recessed lights. It's a very bright kitchen, but I like it that way. But like going into that room, it signals my brain to wake up. Light is a signal for your brain to wake up. So if you can start dimming your lights, have some, even if you have those fake candles, or maybe like the little Christmas string lights or something, like, or the dimmer switches on your stuff, start dimming your lights and you'll find that your body, your brain actually picks that up as, oh, now it's starting to get dark, and it starts to, all the hormones that you need for sleep, the melatonin and serotonin, and start kicking in. Oh, hi, Mara. How are you? Thank you for joining. All right, and let me see one more, the caffeine. Actually, caffeine and exercise. Okay, so caffeine, believe it or not, I know there's so many people that like caffeine after dinner, right? Whether you like it, oh, I know this. It's hard to get people to stop that because it's usually a habit. And it's usually a habit they've been doing for a really long time. But do you know, like, it actually, caffeine is something that has a half-life. This sounds so odd, but think of it as, all right, if you have, how many milligrams? About 1 cup of coffee, say there's like 200 milligrams of caffeine in like a mug of coffee, right? Your half-life means that in 8 hours, that is halved. So in 8 hours, so if you have caffeine at noon, 8 hours from then, your caffeine that's still in your body, it lasts a really long time. Even if you're not like hyped up on it, it's still in your system for a really long time. In 8 hours, it's halved to 100 milligrams. In another 8 hours, it's halved to 50 milligrams. If they were to do a test on your blood, it would still be in there. It would still be at 50. Another 8 hours, it's down to 25 milligrams. So see why they're like, you know what, if you have to cut it off by noon and the latest at 2 p.m., but try to cut off your caffeine intake. And caffeine affects your body differently in the different forms that you get it. So your stronger caffeine, of course, is going to be your coffee. And then some of your teas, I have a lot of herbal teas that don't have any caffeine. And you might want to try that later in the day, switch over to an herbal tea. And it's some you can get, like you could do so many great things health-wise with some herbal teas that it's a plus in that way. It's like a win-win situation. But cutting out the caffeine, and I know it has to do with people's jobs and the shifts they're on and all of that thing. So like take that information, that formula, and tweak it to your schedule. Like if you work a midnight shift, you'd have to tweak that so that and it's so hard when you're on a midnight shift because you've got to do all those other tricks about blackout curtains and making your room pitch black in the middle of the day, right? But those are things that you need to do to signal to your brain to start that whole switch, because they're so deficient in melatonin, because their brains aren't picking up the receptors of nighttime when it's the middle of the day and it's sun shining. It's so hard. But other than that, if you are just one of those people that are just in a habit of drinking coffee later in the day, think about that. If you're just having some problems and you're just thinking, because your body changes and it's going to react to caffeine differently as the years go on. 10 years ago, it may have been just fine, but 10 years later, it may be affecting you. So think about those little things that Duke, stop, that I mentioned, and think about how the quality of sleep is. Are you waking up and you feel like you could sleep another 8 hours? Are you just exhausted and it's not, Duke, could you stop? And it's just not the end of the day, and try some of these tricks and try like they said, try it for a week. And if you can't, try it for a weekend, Hey, Duke. try it for a weekend and see if some of these little tips help, because it's so important to get your best night's sleep possible. And it's not the, would you stop? It's not the amount of hours, but the quality of the sleep. And the quality is going to depend on, oh, geez, oh man. The quality is going to depend on, how your brain is able to shut down and start that sleepy time and let those hormones in. That's going to give you the best night rest possible. Okay, everybody, let me see. Everybody, all right, I think I answered all the questions. If I didn't, I will get, if I missed something. Oh, Chelsea, what's absorbed? Wait, were you able to get that? What's absorbed into your skin? They were talking about the Sleep Institute's darkening your room as much as possible, because even if you have your cell phone laying beside you and it's on, or like the glow of an alarm clock, those bright green numbers, or bright blue, or bright red's not as bad, but red, the glow of a TV. If you live somewhere where there's a street light and it's just shining, like, you know how it shines in a weird kind of way through the curtains? You might not think, you fall asleep and you're thinking, well, that doesn't bother me, I fell asleep. Your skin has light receptors on it, and it can actually pick up and absorb light. So your skin can literally see, and it affects your brain waves. So that's what I was talking about with your skin being able to pick that up. You may not think that that's bothering you because you fell asleep, but it is, because you're not getting you're not falling into the deep sleep that you need to as quickly, because your body is still picking up the light. Strange thing, but it's true. You can Google it. Okay, everybody, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate your time tremendously. I love being able to give you some tips of things that I'm learning and I'm reading and I'm passing on to my exercise and health groups. And I love being able to share that information, especially when it has to do with all of us. And it's just trying to get better at what we're doing every day, and trying to get a better quality of sleep, so we're all working at like our optimal best. Everybody have a super good evening. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'll talk to you later.